Hey everyone, it's the TheAngryHoneyBadger, and it's time for us to take a look at a champion build video. Today I'm actually playing Volibear in the jungle. Some of you may know that I did have an older jungle, or not even jungle, it was actually top lane Volibear. But that build, as much as it actually still works, it's kind of a weird build, and some people don't like it, but you know, that's fine, you don't have to like it. But Volibear actually is being seen more so in the jungle these days. He's a good top laner too. But he's pretty good in the jungle because of his kit and because of his gank. So we're going to just go ahead and put out another build for him because I just had one on the sidelines. Thought I'd make it quick. And we'll just go ahead and do that today. So for Season 3, Volibear, going to be jungling him, like I said, and taking out Hunter's Machete and Pots at level 1. Starting out over there, over by Blue Buff, getting the creeps over there with some help. Not a lot of ganking early on in this game. Top lane's already pushed a little bit. Bot lane's already pushed a little bit too, so we're not really set up for epic ganks. At level 1, we do take his W ability, which if you're not quite sure what that is, that's his Frenzy. Passively, you gain bonus attack speed after auto-attacking 3 times, or it stacks nonetheless. And then then you can then activate this, and while you have those 3 stacks, you can activate the ability by biting the target. It can be minions, it can be champions, it can be anything. So you do that, so you are going to deal some damage plus 15% bonus of your health for damage. So that's kind of awesome. And yeah, so damage, Volibear, that's what happens. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take that level 1 because you get that increased attack speed, and then you are going to then get that damage from the W with the bite. So we're going to actually max that out first. We take that at level 1, then at level 2, this is up to you, depending on if you're going to go gank right away. If you're going to go gank right away, take Rolling Thunder, which is what speeds him up a little bit. And then that flips the enemy behind them. That does deal some damage as well. Each time you do level this up, you are going to get more increased speed in it. But if you want to take that at level 3, that's fine. If you want to keep being in the jungle and fighting things, you might want to take Majestic Roar at level 2 or 3, depending on when you're doing that. And what that is going to do is you let out a scream. It's going to deal some magic damage to enemies around you. It's going to fear minions and monsters, or pets, if champions have pets. It'll fear them for a short duration and slow enemies that it is around. So, kind of awesome. While ganking, basically your gank goes with you W in, you flip them, and then you roar to slow them when you need to, and then you basically bite them after you've procced your standard attack. And that's pretty much how you repeat your fighting most of the time when you go into start. So that is how his kit works, or at least those are his main abilities. Like I said, we're maxing out our W first. Then, depending on if you want to get more speed in your Q, you can put some points in that. Or if you want to get the slow on your Majestic Roar up, you can do that. I usually do that, and then max the Rolling Thunder last. And then you'll take your ultimate, which is Thunder Claws, at level 6, 11, and 16, and what that's going to do is, for the next 12 seconds, your auto attacks will blast its targets with lightning, and it will bounce up to 3 enemies. Each bolt of lightning will deal 75, 115, 155 damage, plus 30% of your ability power to each target at once. So, basically, it's great when you get in the middle of fights. Here we're going to get in a little fight. Lee Sin's going to kick him back. No lane's been great for ganking, so he set that up really well. Going to activate Thunder Claws and take a bite out of the Analysis top and pick up a kill. Finally able to do something. Kind of a slow game starting out all over the place. It's 3-3 right now. Nothing crazy going on either team. This is going to be kind of more of a late game shuffle battle. They have a AP mid Nunu, which I know some people have been seeing Nunu around more recently. I have gone back to base though once. I did pick up the beginning of my items, some would say, with that Spirit Stone, and this game actually was right before the last patch, so slightly different already, but instead of that Giant's Belt, which I did just pick up, it'd be a Kindle Gem now, because they changed how that item's built, so it's actually cheaper, so in that case this is actually even easier and better to build. So that would be going towards the item, no, not Lizard, which one is it? I always get these new jungling items confused, all 3 of them, I always give them the wrong name. Anyways, you know which one I'm building, it's the one that gives me the armor, or not armor, it's going to give me the health, and health regen, mana regeneration. It's also going to help me with clearing in the jungle, and it is going to give me that very important tenacity. So we're going to be doing that a little bit, picking up that tenacity, and because it's going to give me tenacity, I don't have to build Merc Treads, and I'm able to pick up Ninja Tabi, which is very important. Trundle is their jungler, and he's coming in behind for a gank. Going to activate Thunderclaws. We're going to get into a little bit of a fight here. This Lee Sin is building a little bit more damage, so he doesn't really have too much life. Just kind of depends on how you're building him. One important thing to note, as you can see, we did just get the kill on the Trundle, and we are going to try to keep fighting Nasus. Now, unfortunately, Lee Sin is tanking too much of that tower. He's going to die to the Nunu, and I think Nasus is going to get away. Oh, or is he going to come join us? My pass is going off. Nunu came top pretty quick. Luckily, Lux did come too, so we did go 1 for 1 there technically. But a little bit of an engagement going on there. But, what was I saying? I don't even remember. It's not important, because I deem it not important at this time. But we're doing all that early. Oh, Merc Treads. Don't need them because of that item. So, it's awesome that the Tenacity's in that, because Tenacity doesn't stack, as we all know. And we're going to go ahead and finish off that item and have our Ninja Tabi. So, we're taking decreased damage, having that armor, and then that percentage of damage being decreased. And I think Nunu's just barely going to get away there. And then Trundle's going to show up. But luckily, Volibear is a very awesome jungler. If you're looking for a jungler to try out, and you're a little bit afraid of the jungle, his passive will save you, in case you don't know what his passive is. Personally, it's a little strong. It's Chosen of the Storm. When Volibear's health drops below 30% of his max health, he will heal for 30% of his max health over the next 6 seconds. And the passive has a 120-second cooldown, which really isn't very long. Some people's ultimates are on longer cooldown. So he's got like a mini secondary ult, you could call it almost, because it's that good. So don't be afraid to get into fights. Obviously, you can see if that's on cooldown by just looking down at your abilities to the left where your passive's at. So getting into a little bit of a fight, I actually do have that up. So if I get dropped below that 30% of max health, I will regen 30% of my max health over those 6 seconds. I probably should have blocked that shot. I did not ever notice that until just now. But we're going to get into a little fight. At this point, I want to run away, but he is getting basically permaslowed, and I can't really fight this with Tark. Neither of us have maximum amount of damage. Surely it kills here. He is going to die to the Caitlyn. My passive is finally going to go off. It's going to regen, and I'm just going to run away and get away fine. I'm going to go back to base, though. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just keep farming. Maybe I lied. Don't remember this game that well, apparently. But, so that's what's going on. Those are all your abilities, your passive. Very important, very good kit. But like I was saying, if you want to look for somebody Season 3 jungling, Volibear is a very strong choice. He's got a good kit, good ganking stuff, and his passive is very strong. He gets naturally tanky, and he deals natural damage because of the W, since it's based off of health. For the damage, it'll increase over time. So you can get nice and tanky and still contribute to the team quite well. Another thing to maybe just note about Thunderclaws is, if you can't quite get to an enemy, if they've just jumped away and there is a pack of minions, do not be afraid to start standard attacking the minions if you know you can't get to them, because it'll bounce through the minions and it can hit them and kill them. That's a good way to pick up kills when they are running away. So just something to maybe take note of. We have Nunu top again already. He is just flying up here. I don't know how he's getting up here so fast. Lux is not in her lane, so she was not really being able to get that. Lee Sin is going to die, which is going to happen. Trundle is now on his way, so I need to start running, because at this point, I can't fight all 3 of them. I'm ignited, which will, in fact, kind of negate my passive, which makes me sad on the inside, but that's a smart move. If you're looking for a way to counter Volibear, that would be the way to do it. It would be to get Ignite right when he goes into his passive. He's not going to heal off of that as well. Trundle's going to stick his nose out, but we're going to be okay. And luckily, Lux did pick up a kill, and so I got an assist. Trundle is going to make a crazy escape here because he is very fast when he does activate that. We'll see how new Trundle is when that does happen. But nonetheless, we're doing all that. And that last time I did go back, I did pick up some magic resist. The next item I'm building is actually going to help me out in a few different ways. I know a lot of people rush the Warmogs Armor. It's not a bad idea. I just don't think it's actually necessary on Volibear, or at least to rush it on Volibear because of how else we're building. So I'm pick up a little bit more health. We're actually going to be... Okay, apparently we're going to jump here real quick. That's weird. But going to get into a little bit of fight. Going to flip and get a kill on Nunu somehow. I think the tower basically gave me that kill. And get into a fight and try to kill this Nos is real quick. Lux is going to pick that up. So, I don't know why we skipped there for a split second. That was kind of weird. Footage sometimes does freak out. As we all know, low replay is always broken. And that's why it always says attempting to reconnect. It is not the internet. In case you are wondering, it is low replay freaking out. Obviously, if you were attempting to reconnect that often, you probably wouldn't be moving at all. So, a little bit of a fight in mid lane. Still have my passive up, so you can still kind of fight. And, I mean, you can keep fighting while your passive is going off in the middle of the fight. But you can always just take a step back, and now it looks like I have basically full health again. And Lux is going to pick up a nice kill on the Trundle. I don't think we're going to be able to kill the Thresh, though. I think he's just going to make an escape while Caitlyn's just kind of poking at us. He's just going to barely get out of there. Don't really want to tank this too much because Caitlyn is doing sufficient damage. What else can we talk about with Volibear? What should we talk about? There's really a lot of ways you can take this build at the end too, which can actually determine what style of build it is. Now, regardless, you should be trying to get fairly tanky with them and to kind of get the benefit of the W when you bite people and for the benefit of the passive. So you always want to be building some health. Pretty much every item I'm going to build is going to have some health in it, except for maybe the very last item, just depending on what you're doing. And obviously your boots aren't going to give you health. But what you can do is we're going to go ahead and pick up that Spirit Visage as the last item as I just picked up. And that's going to help me with magic resist. So right now my armor and magic resist are up there. They're doing okay for level 12. And that is what we have. And that Spirit Visage, or Visage, it's going to give me 20% cooldown reduction. And then 200 health, 50 magic resist. And then the unique passive on it is the important part, or very helpful, is it increases your healing and your regeneration on yourself by 20%. So basically, I'm going to get an increased heal when my passive goes off. And so I'm going to actually be healing for even more. It's going to be a lot of regeneration happening, and it's going to be very hard to shut down. So that's just something to take note. Going to get into a little bit of a fight and take a giant bite out of Trundle. So, you know, that Spirit Visage is a very, very good item. As you can see, the regeneration is happening right now. I did just block that shot too. But every time that goes off, you're just going to heal for a massive amount, and you can see it happening. It's hard to ignore when it's going off. Going to barely escape there, just taking a lot of hits. But we're doing okay so far. We're 3-0-6. We got okay farm, but, you know, it's jungler. Just your farm doesn't really make up your game. It depends on if you were ganking. But you can farm if you have to in the jungle, obviously, if you can't get out and gank like I wasn't able to earlier. Back at base that last time. At this point, you could, in fact, build that Warmogs Armor, but I'm not going to yet. I'm going to actually build the Sunfire Cape as my next item. Since you do live so long as Volibear, having that damage around you all the time with that Sunfire Cape is going to be a great item. And it's going to give you more health. You're going to get the 45 armor, the 450 health from it. And you're going to deal that passive magic damage around to nearby enemies. So while you're just standing in the middle of them, look at that surrender vote. Who did that? Stupid. And I was like, we're winning. So that Sunfire Cape is going to be a good item to get. It's just going to be helpful in all types of stuff. So we're getting tanky with health and with resists. I think some people forget that resists are in the game. And as much as health is really strong, you need to have some resist. Especially against AD carries that get fed. Because if you can negate their crits, I mean, you can shut their game down in it. It really, really is helpful when you are the tank. So I'm in this fight. My passive is going off. I am going to die, though, I believe. Trundle put his ultimate on me. Very smart move, because he's going to get some of my stats. And there's another little freak out in the game footage for a second, too. But, you know, tanked it for the team. I am the tank. And I do know that, but don't be surprised to get kills as Volibear. He's going to do it. So we have 10 assists right now. Back at base, we did pick up that Giant's Belt, which will go for that Sunfire Cape. We have about 2,700 health right now, level 14, so not too bad. Fearing all those minions with our Roar. And going to keep farming this top lane, get this push back out while my team does God knows what down in their jungle. Dying probably, and getting some kills. Going to push top, though, since I'm not going to get down there, and I needed to address the situation in top lane. And hopefully they don't book it over here too quick. Maybe I can get this tower in time. As for the rune page, when I am jungling Volibear, what I'm going to be doing for my runes is going to be taking some attack speed marks. Or you can do a couple different others, but attack speed is going to help you get through the jungle, and it's just going to help your kit out. And then you're going to take armor seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and then movement speed quintessences for even better ganks. So that is what I like to take. It's very, very good. It's kind of generic for most junglers, but it's a good setup. It's going to be very helpful. It's going to help you clear, help you have a little armor early against the jungle creeps. Magic resist per level is pretty epic. You get about 30 out of it after it's all said and done. So you're going to get a handful of magic resist for not too much, which is great. And as you can see, my stats are actually currently being drained right now because of that Trundle ult, but now they're going back up. And we're going to go ahead and try to take a quick Baron because that was a interesting fight how it started at least. You could see that they chased me and my team then caught up. Now they're currently fighting, I believe, Nasus and Nunu. And I'm trying to tank this, and it did queue off my passive, but, you know, that's another thing. I know people who aren't too sure about jungling, or they're like afraid they're going to die because they're not good at it, or they haven't really done it too much. You can basically be saved by Volibear. His passive will basically save you while you're jungling, if that's the case. Now, granted, you don't want to use his passive to save yourself while you're jungling, but if that's going to happen, you know, it's going to happen, and you won't at least die to the creeps. So, something to remember. Now, I did pick up that Sunfire Cape. That's going to be great. Like I said, going to run in here. Good stun by Taric. Going to slow the Nunu, take a bite out of him before all of his damage goes off. He has a ton of AP right now. But I have that Sunfire Cape. Got plenty of armor right now. And got a decent amount of magic resist. And now we are going to start building towards that Warmogs Armor. It's going to basically beef you up so much late that it's going to be hard to stop that. Picked up another kill on Thresh. I mean, Voli is beating down on Trundle because I'm going to kill him. So, I mean, Volibear picks up a lot of kills. He's just like a tanky carry. So, probably the best tank carry, to be honest. Yeah, Nasus is doing God knows what top lane. I'm going to go in and start tanking this because, you know, whatever. It's not going to hardly hurt me. And even if it does, passive could go off. But, you know, we're really tanky at this point. We're going to build that Warmogs Armor at this point. We're going to actually end the game, though, before I even get the Warmogs built. But Warmogs starts to get really awesome. There's a handful of items I will recommend for finishing out the build. If you want to get Atmas for increased damage and you need a little bit of armor, you can do that. If you need a Thornmail because they have a ton of attack damage, you can do that. If you want to start to get some lifesteal and more attack speed, you can do Blade of the Ruined King. It's actually going to be a decent item on him. And if you need more magic resist, a Wits End. So, but as for the last item I would have built this game, probably would have been a Thornmail or a Blade of the Ruined King. But that's going to be a Volibear build. If you're looking for all those items, masteries, runes, it's in the description. But other than that, I'll just see all of you in the next build video. Into a little bit of a fight here. I'm going to grab that Swain. Need to get rid of him. Super fed, and the team knows that. So Caitlin's working on him. We're going to get him killed. Jarvan's going to jump on his face. We're going to also run down this Cho'Gath as well. Pick up a handful of assists there and just help the team out.